Have you ever wanted to do string art, but the idea of keeping nails straight intimidated you? What if we could hide the nails altogether? Hi, I'm Anna from Rocky Mountain Mama. Today we have 2 string art pieces that can also hold pictures. What you're going to need to add to this kit is a hammer, wood glue, string, clamps or super glue, and some paint. Today I have my lovely mom all the way from Montana helping me. She is working on the mountain range version of this project as I work on the intertwining hexagons. As you can see here, we are dry fitting all the pieces together to make sure we put all the right pieces in all the right places. I'm glad we did the dry fit because I would have messed up right here. But with the magic of editing, it's all better. Now that we have all the pieces dry fit together, we're going to add glue. We're going to use Type Bond Original and clamps and spread that glue all over. The reason why we're using Type Bond Original is because it dries faster than Type Bond 2 and 3, but if you are going to use this project outside, you might want to consider using one of those. Sometimes while you're gluing up, you'll need to glue 2 different pieces at the same time. They should slide together neatly, but you don't want to try gluing something together after the fact. If you don't have clamps, you can use super glue instead. Like before, you're going to add the wood glue, but leaving spots unlike before for the super glue to fit in between. The super glue is going to act like a temporary clamp. It's not going to be as permanent as the wood glue, but it'll hold it tight in the meantime. Once our wood glue is dry, we're going to start sanding. You'll sand off any excess glue that you weren't able to wipe away, any sharp edges. You can round out corners if you'd like to. And one thing you might have noticed while you were gluing things up is the half laps do overlap by quite a bit. That's intentional, so that way when you sand, you can sand it flat instead of dipping in. Once we're done sanding, we're going to flip the project over to the back side so we can add nails. This little jig here is going to help us with spacing and depth. You're going to place the jig on the inside of our project, place the nail in that little groove, hammer the nail all the way down to the jig, and once that is done, remove the jig, place it up against the old nail, and then do the next nail in. One thing you might notice is that the jig does not fit in the corners all that well. That's okay. You don't want too many nails in the corner anyway. So once the jig gets stuck, just add 1 nail in that corner, not too far out. You can flip the jig upside down to kind of get an idea of how far in. Here I didn't use the jig and I poked through the back side of the wood. Oops. That's not too big of an issue. I'm just going to take the back side of the hammer, pull it up just a bit, making sure it's not too far out, and then on the other side, gently tap that bump back in. Now that we've completed putting all the nails in, we're going to add the spacers. The spacers are there to help prevent the nails from scratching up our walls. We're dry fitting them in, and if you notice, we're pulling them in from the edge a little bit to help create a 3D effect. And the inside corners do have a bit of overhang. That's to account for how far in or how far out you pull the nail. Unfortunately, my mom had to go home, so I called in the reinforcements. With my little supervisor here to help me, I'm going to dry fit the other spacers on this project. On this one, you'll notice that there are 3 different sizes. My supervisor didn't think I did well. My favorite way to hold the spacers in the right way is by using the super glue method of clamping. For me, it was just easier. You spread out small little lines of wood glue, and in between the spaces, you add super glue. Put it on your project, hold it down for 30 seconds to a minute, wipe off any excess glue, and then move on to the next one. However, if you'd like to use the clamp, just spread the glue all the way down, just like you would, and clamp it all together. Now, this project isn't going to be perfect. The nails aren't perfect, the edges aren't perfect, but that's okay. Speaking about not being perfect, I noticed while I was hammering that a piece happened to fall off. It's a project with soft wood. There's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way. All I did to fix that was add glue to the backside, clamped it, sand out the extra glue, and it was as good as new. Next, we're going to do paint. I was aiming to do a wash, but did not add enough water, and look at all of that paint. Definitely add more water and less paint if you decide to do a wash. But you can do whatever paint you would like. You can use indoor-outdoor wall paint or even a stain. I realized halfway through that this is more of an electric blue. I did start on the back to make sure that I got the color I wanted, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted it, so I added more paint. If you want to go for a more rustic look, what you can do is take a lighter paint and put just a dab of it on a paper towel, and then take a dry paintbrush, pick up just a little bit of the paint, and lightly dust your brush over the wood. Next up is the hangers. On the plans, you'll see approximately where to put the hangers. You'll want to put it mostly in the middle, so that way it makes it easier to hang straight on the wall. But if you want to hang your mountains upside down to make it look more like a cave, then go for it. Another way to add a little bit of uniqueness to your project is by picking your string. You can pick jute like I did, or a cotton twine, or if you want a pop of color, you could even use embroidery floss. Now tie the string onto a nail, go back and forth and have fun, and then once you're done, find another nail and tie off the string. Then finally, you'll cut off the excess string, and then you're finished. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to make this project, links are in the description down below. Also, I'd love to see pictures of this project, so you can tag me on social media, Instagram and Facebook at rockymountainmama.co. See you in the garage.